Welcome, parents. A happy New Year, a Merry Christmas, Happy Reyes, Happy everything, birthdays, and etc. Right? We have a long break. For some of the families that were texting me or calling the office, like when we resume classes or the kids resume the classes, it seems like forever, right? Usually, in a normal regular schedule, we have. The retreats in January, usually the kids they're super busy with the sports, schools, etc. So in the experience, we noticed that January, the beginning of the January, is a really good time for them to have the retreat. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, it's a no-go to attend a massive conference like we usually do with 5,000 kids or having an overnight retreat in a retreat center. So thinking in the families, the catechists, and the facilitators, and obviously including Father Celine in the conversation. This is what we decided for the retreats. It was a back and forth, invested a lot of money, but this is what we decided to do, and what we think is the best for the kids. So this is usually how it looks the schedule, or how is your schedule? We have the confirmation one retreat, 8, 9, and 10. And as we have this long break, we schedule the parent meeting, and then we have the class tomorrow. So tomorrow the kids, they have class. The reason of this big break is because usually we have in that weekend the retreat. Then we will continue with classes, and we're going to have a pre-confirmation retreat, very interesting, and we will invite all the kids in the confirmation program, and also some kids from another parishes. We'll see how many kids we have attending that retreat. So we have the announcement for the meeting, and this is kind of the first retreat. The first event that we have is going to be totally online. If we go back to the schedule, it was a scheduled whole day. Usually this is how it works. It's from 9 to 6:30. Usually this is a makeup retreat. In this particular case, in this year, this is our first retreat, and it's the pre-confirmation retreat. It's a retreat designed for them. However, we're more than welcome to include even school kids, some rifles, school kids, alumni, and maybe some other kids that want to participate in this lovely retreat. It's all about the love of God. And funny, it usually is close to February 14. This year, it landed exactly in February 14. So we know that some of the kids, they are struggling because they don't have that socialization they usually have. Well, if they don't have Valentine's, what better to have a Valentine's date with Jesus Christ, right? This is for the kids, let's say for 8th grade to 12th grade. And it's going to be for free. We're going to have some registration, and some of the kids, all the families that are interested in enroll the kids into this retreat. Confirmation one retreat. The confirmation one is going to be April 24 and 25. Technically, that's basically the end of the confirmation year, the classes. The times is to be announced. In a certain moment, we're thinking to have it in-person retreat. I don't think that is going to be possible. However, things are changing. A lot of people got vaccinated, and as we're thinking by June, July, most of the 80% of the nation is going to be vaccinated. So we're going to have another perspective of the pandemic. In between, we're planning this online, totally online, and the time is going to be determined because in the experience we cannot have kids all day in the screen. So technically, it's I would say good 9 hours retreat. Probably going to be divided in one morning in Saturday and one morning on a Sunday. So it's not a heavy for the kids, and it's more managed. It's going to be a lot of interaction, a lot of people, and this is what we're proposing for the confirmation one retreat. It's going to be this. It's called Hope, and it's going to be a virtual conference. And if you want to Google it, they are excellent presenters, and it's going to be super fun for the kids. That's although it's going to be online, we need to make it fun for the kids, right? So it's a lot of work. There's only 3 parishes in here in El Paso, and for instance in Juarez, there's no parish doing online classes. So it's a really a challenge for us, for our staff. And it's one of the things that we learned in this pandemic. Everything changed from one day to the other. We were have a plan, and everything changed because we went back to square one. So it's really difficult. It's a challenge, but we thanks all of you to be persistent and support us in this process. So at the moment, that retreat is going to be online. The kids, they won't have to register, and we will send them the link when it's appropriate at the time. And it will work very similar to what we are doing right now. So this is more or less how it's going to look the first day, probably from 9 to 1. It will be, I will say 9 to 12. It's going to be the first morning, the first day, Saturday. And this is what the kids gonna be doing. And the second morning, that's what we're gonna start, but we're gonna start at 9 o'clock, and we will finish around the same time. And we will have mass with the bishop. It will be very, very interesting to have mass and adoration online. So now let's move forward to the confirmation 2 retreat. It's super important because the confirmation 2 retreat is mandatory. It's one of the requirements for the kids to get a confirmation, right? To be eligible for the confirmation. In the case of the confirmation 1, even if they miss it, it will be a little bit easier because it's going to be an online event. And they have the second year to make up the retreat in case that they need it. But in case of the confirmation 2, there's no a whole lot of options. And sometimes when the kids, they miss our retreat, because we are able to send them to another parish. But right now, like I mentioned, there's only 3 parishes doing classes. So technically, they only going to have one option in case that they need to make up the retreat. And it's up to the parents or the kid to find another retreat or retreat center to complete that requirement or fulfill that requirement. So after looking and at the beginning, we have a whole retreat team that helped me out with the retreats. That's the only thing that they do. They do retreats. It's a ministry. That's what they do. Marin de la Rosa and Liz Chacon is the ones that they lead that ministry. And we were planning to do exactly the same that we do, but online. But some of the team got sick with COVID. So we decided that having 40 persons in the parish, it will be very difficult, even if we try to live stream and do exactly the same. So we decided to pay the net retreat. It's a national retreat team. And that's what they do. They do retreats every single day, and they have the experience to do retreats online. So they're going to be here in town. The school, they're going to have the retreat. And there's a few parishes that they're going to run the retreat. And as well us. We're going to have them in here in the parish. So that's going to be on Tuesday, February 9. It's right in the corner. We're going to have a registration. As soon as we finish, I will be sending an email with the registration. We only have 100 places. How it's going to work? You're going to have to RSVP. And please, I'm begging you, this is super important. Only RSVP if your kid is attending the retreat. If you don't want your kid to attend in the retreat, it's okay. I think most of the kids and the families are ready to go back. And I'm thinking on this based on the experience of the Luminarias project. We have a lot of kids. Most of them, they were really good. When we told them to keep the social distancing, they were very respectful. So this retreat is going to be in-person retreat. And let me show you how it's going to work. So our parish is humongous, right? Seating, we can fit 1,250 people. So our plan is to seat 1 kid per pew. So as you can see the numbers, 1 kid, they will be sitting in the, let's put it this way, section B, number 1, right? Then we'll have another kid in section B, pew 2, in the left side. So that way, there's technically this, we're talking about some of our pews like 25 um, uh, yards. They're huge, right? So that will give us the opportunity to sit even three kids in one pew, one of the 15 or 16 pews. They're so long, they can fit like, I don't know, like 25 people. So if we have three kids, definitely it will be more than enough. So we're reducing the amount only to 100. This is super important because we have permission right now to have events up to 250. If we consider the 25%, uh, we're talking about 250, 270 people if we follow the guidelines of the diocese. Remember, the cry room now is not in use, so I'm considering only 1,000 people. And if we consider the 25% that is allowed at this moment, based on um, the diocese guidelines, we will be way under the guidelines of the diocese. And some of the kids they are siblings. So if that's the case, we can see them together and we won't have any problem. The problem, to be honest, is not the church. We have been having mass, and we have around 200 people attending our masses, and we haven't had any problem. The biggest problem that we have, and we will not be having with the kids, and it was a challenge in the Luminarias project, is the parking lot. Usually, when we dismiss the kids in the parking lot, is when the kids are gathering, and some of the kids that were telling me, "Oh no, we're together," and they were riding together. So that's kind of difficult to know. And since we were finishing fast the Luminaries project, so we dismissed the kids, and sometimes the kids they were waiting right there in the white top. So avoiding that or learning from that experience, this is what we are suggesting. If we finish or you are here exactly at 9:30 to pick up your kid, we will avoid the big problem that is the parking lot. Like I said, once the kids are with us, they're very respectful. They will have we're thinking about 20 feet apart. So definitely, and all of them they will have to wear the face mask. So I don't think that we're going to have any problem with that. Usually we sanitize the church after every event. So we have a whole crew sanitizing pews. That's also not a problem. This is what we're suggesting. What we have been doing in the past in the other events that we have. So if the parents are waiting right there, as soon as we finish, we dismiss the kids, they get into the cars, they jump in the cars, and they leave. So what we're asking is if the parents can help us out to be even before the 9:30. So as soon as we dismiss, the kids go from the pew to the car. There's no other place in between. Obviously, having 100 kids is a little bit difficult to manage. So help us out and tell your kid if they are attending, please, 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 as soon as we finish, from the pew to the car, and don't talk to anyone, right? So this is what we are asking the families to help us out. Just make your line like in those birthday parade, do your parade in the church, so we don't have that gathering in the parking lot with the kids. Um, Now, we also want to give them the option to the kids or the families that they probably have a vulnerable adults or vulnerable some of the parents that are also vulnerable and they don't want the kids mingling or having an in-person. So we decided, and it's difficult right now, and we asked Father for the permission and the most important, the money. So we're gonna be also paying the net retreat, but the online version. Uh, it was really difficult. They have everything booked, and they had a cancellation, and they give me this date. So we're gonna have the in-person retreat, only 100 spot, and we have 50 spots for the online version. That's gonna be in March 7 from 9 to 2, and it's a Sunday. Uh, and everything is online, and the people that decided to log in or sign up or RSVP for this one, we will send them all the instructions, all the stuff. So what is the net retreat? And I have a video in here. Hopefully everything works as I planned, but we're going to be watching a little video that explains this the net retreat. They are like a family. They ride in a van the whole country, they're traveling, so uh, they don't even require to wear the face mask because, like I say, they live together. But obviously, once they are in here, they're going to be following all the guidelines with the kids, but among themselves, they are missioners, and they live together. Um, so it's a little bit different with them.
Guillermo,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. You said that the online retreat is on March the 7th, 9 to 2. What about the in person retreat? When is that? Because I didn't get that date.
The in-person retreat is February,
Okay.
and I have another slide with all the different retreats. The in-person retreat, this is only for confirmation too, which is
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be exactly the same retreat, and it's specific for confirmation. Just the difference is one is going to be in person, the other one is going to be online. At certain moment, we have this canceled. This event was canceled because of the pandemic. The situation in the diocese, it didn't allow. But once we moved to stage 3, we were able to go back to this retreat. So this is going to be the in-person. Like I said, I will be sending the link so the families can RSVP. And I'm going to send it at the same time. So they can discuss it as a family, what is the best for your family.
So you're gonna give us that date? You just said February, but what is the date?
Uh-huh.
Hey guys, my name is Matthew Leon, and I'm the youth minister here at American Martyrs in Manhattan Beach, California. I just want to share a few words with you guys about the NET virtual retreats. Being in youth ministry for about 20 years, I was real hesitant and a little skeptical of what a virtual retreat was going to be like. Once I started working with the NET team and talking with some of the members, it became really clear that this retreat was going to be incredible. And what I mean by that is, I know a lot of us have fatigue in Zoom and virtual meetings. You know, that's how we're meeting right now. But I'm here to just let you guys know that these retreats are incredible. The way that the team is able to just pop out of the screen and it feels like you're there. It feels like you are present with them. So if you have any hesitations, if you're a little nervous about taking that leap of booking a virtual retreat, I just want to let you guys know, do it. It's worth it. I know for a lot of our teens who came back off of retreat, they had so many questions about our faith. They really engaged in great conversations with us. And just a lot of the follow-ups that we did as a team, our youth ministry team, has been great for the development and growth this year, spiritually speaking. So if you guys are nervous or on the cuff of, you know what, I don't know if I can do it, I'm just telling you, take that leap. It's well worth it. The NET team is incredible and they do incredible work. Thank you guys so much. Again, my name is Matthew Leon from American Martyrs. God bless.
So
We have another retreat. This is only for the students that they need first Holy Communion. So it's going to be a challenge. Definitely the date that it was given, it wasn't the best for us, but we're going to have to make it work. So we have the Confirmation 2 class, the Madrid class, and Miss Armendariz. Those two classes, we have a few kids that they need communion and confirmation. So we have another retreat. But this retreat is... we're going to be recording, so the kids they can later on watch this retreat, and especially to practice. It's going to be difficult, but we're going to have another date, so maybe those kids, they can practice in the church, because I mean, it's going to be the first time taking the communion. That's a challenge, and now with the face covering is another challenge. Maybe all the kids, they should be practicing at home how to take the communion with a face mask. We have in our YouTube channel, which I highly recommend to subscribe, how to take communion with a face covering, and all the guidelines that you need to follow in Mass and during this pandemic. So April 25 is the retreat for Confirmation 1, and also is the deadline for the service hours, the Bishop letter of Father Celino for the Confirmation 1, and the Saint report. So super important to keep those dates in mind and save the date, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about this. So another super important date is going to be the Confirmation Sponsor Workshop. I will be conducting this retreat, and we have I already sent in the Google Classes the form, but we also digitalize the form, and you will be able to see it. I will show you later on when I stop this PowerPoint. I will show you the form. It's electronic, so much easier, and they can upload the documents if they want. But super important, especially for Confirmation 2, all of the Confirmation 2, they should already have a sponsor, and they should have documentation turning into the office. I know it is a little bit of a challenge because the office is kind of closed in the moment, but at least we're asking for emails with the documentation. So very simple. The sponsor, they need to attend the class or the sponsor workshop. Just like the bautismo classes. In the bautismo classes, they go attend the class. They give them a little card. The card is valid for a year. So we follow the safe procedures. In another parishes, they charge for this. We consider this as a part of the tuition. So only when it's a sponsor from another parish, or he's going to sponsor a kid in another diocese, we charge them for the class at $25. In this particular case, is already included, and they won't receive certificates because it's in-house unless they need it for another diocese or another kid from another church. They need to let us know in order to extend that document. So the class is going to be in it's 9:30 to 12, and it's going to be so much easier because sometimes we have a sponsor from out of town and they need to attend this class in their home parish. But now it's going to be so much easier because it's going to be 100% online, and it's going to be just like this presentation. Okay, so super important deadline is February 28th. But we're hoping that a lot of the sponsors submit all the paperwork, and they fill it out the form, and they are ready to go February 28th. Remember that at this point, a lot of the parishes is still closed, so it's very difficult to go and request documentation. So please talk to them and make sure that they submit the documentation on time. And I need to say it, at this point, there's a very few that they had to submit documentation. And remember, This is the deadline for confirmation one, because that's what we want. We want a sponsor that accompany the kid, not the very last minute sponsor. So if the confirmation one kids they don't have a sponsor, you need to hurry up. They need to start doing that part, right? So we don't want a sponsor just for the ceremony. We want a sponsor, the company that live together the faith with our kid. Uh, so that's why we want a guidance in the life of our kids, right? So this is all the dates, and hopefully that clarified what I was telling you. So we have the in-person confirmation to retreat Tuesday, February 9, 2021, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the church. That's the only in-person retreat that we want to have. Then we have the pre-confirmation retreat, the True Love Waits. It's going to be on a Sunday, February 14, 9 to 1. The sponsor workshop, February 28, 9:30 to 12. Confirmation 1 retreat, April 24 and 25. We're still looking at the time. We're thinking what is going to be the best for the kids. Then the confirmation 2 online retreat is March 7 from 9 to 2. And we'll be including mass because it's a Sunday, right? And the Eucharist retreat is exactly the same day. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us, but we're going to have to manage because that was the date that it was given. Okay, so that's the retreats. Now we need to talk about something very, very important topic. The virtual volunteer service hours. At the beginning of the year, first day of class, we have a presentation with the kids, and it's already this PowerPoint presentation in the Google classes, but now I want to do this presentation with the parents because at the moment, basically the kids that were waiting for do the hours. So I decided, let me rephrase that. The first 3 months, none of the kids do any of the online service hours. So because of that, I start reaching the parents, and we have a way better response. So because of that, I want to present now to the parents the different service hours that we have. We have around 25 online service projects that we present to the kids. Because time managed is going to go super fast, but the kids, all the kids, they already have all this information. It was an extended presentation, and throughout the classes, the catechists, they present this to the kids, and little by little we have more. So the Luminaries project, it wasn't the first project that we have. We have way more projects, and unfortunately we didn't have the result that we expected, but it's a must. I mean, the kids, just like in school, they need to complete the service hours. In school, they need to complete 90 hours, and I keep always bugging the kids. Double dipping, do the hours with us, and you can carry the hours to school. If you do the hours in here, we will write a letter for school. So easy peasy, right? But the kids, they don't they don't do it. So let me present to you this other PowerPoint about the service. But anyway, I mean, it is what it is, right? So we have one class to teach the kids how to do the service hours. We have one class to explain them about the bishop letter or Father Celino letter. This is super important, and it's a requirement. And they never believe me. The bishop, I turn it in the bishop letters a month before the celebration because the bishop read. He highlighted, he made comment, and several times he told me, like, Guillermo, I want to meet these kids, bring it to me. I really want to know. Or sometimes even make comments, like, be careful with this kid wrote this or that. So because of that, one time we have a kid that say, I don't want to get confirmed. They forced me to do the confirmation. I don't want to get confirmed. That kid, she wrote 2 letters, one letter for the parents and one letter for us. So when she first submitted the first draft, we didn't find anything wrong. The final letter that she submitted, she expressed that I don't want to get confirmed. So the bishop office called me, and we have to have a meeting. Father Celino, the family, with the bishop. It was a mess, right? And the bishop told her, I won't do it. If you don't want to get confirmed, I won't do it. So she was crying. She said yes, and she made a mistake, blah, 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 blah. So we make her to rewrite the letter, and it was a whole mess. So one of the things that the kids, they need to say is, I want to get confirmed. They can't even complain about the church. They can't even complain about me, about the catechism. That's not a problem. But they need to say it. I want to get confirmed. That's super important. That's a tradition. We have been doing the letter to the bishop since the beginning of the church. If we follow the story of the Catholic Church, the catechumenates, they used to write these letters because remember there was a persecution in the Catholic Church, so they confirmed that they were in the good standings of the Catholic Church. That's one of the big reasons that we have this tradition in the Catholic Church. So the bishop, believe it or not, he will be reading some of the kids' letters during the homily. And when I say this, all the kids are like, ah. But sometimes, and especially in these circumstances with the online classes, I don't know the kids. So the letters is a perfect opportunity to have a better understanding of the kid, and also to showcase our program, to showcase our catechism, and how hard is this time. And they can talk about it. They can talk about what we want is to know the kids in that process of faith. So we are asking the families to help them out, to read before they submit it to the teacher. Please ask your kids. I mean, show me your bishop letter. And I'm very concerned sometimes about the grammar of the kids, but the most important is that they express their hearts and they can present what they are and their faith and the journey of faith to the bishop. And the most important, they need to say, I want to get confirmed. Otherwise, they won't be eligible for that. Usually, there's and be serious and be honest. And probably all of us that we have kids, we have that problem that the kids they don't want to attend the classes, right? And we force them to do the classes. So sometimes the kids, when I notice that they are not responsive and they don't want to be here, I will say, Mijo, give me 1 year, attend your classes. If at the end you don't want to get confirmed, I will support you. But as a minor, you need to be obedient to your parents, and you have to do your classes. But if at the end you don't want to do it, it's okay. I'm from an old Mexican tradition and family, right? So sometimes I hear this in the family, like, oh no, I'm already 18. They cannot tell me what to do. Well, let me tell you, I'm more than 40, and if my mom around me, I will follow whatever she wants, right? So it's our parents, right? The age, in our case, it doesn't mean anything. And if you know what I mean. But it's important for them to do a good visual letter, and I know that is always a problem. Now let's talk about another letter. We call it the love letters. Later on, we will have another meeting for that. But I want you to start thinking on this. Every year for the Confirmation 2 retreat, and this is only for Confirmation 2, we ask the parents to write love letters. If you have attended NACS retreat, you know what I'm talking about. And later on, we will have a meeting and I will explain more in detail, or the retreat coordinator will talk about the love letters. But we're looking we're going to have a very special moment. The day of the confessions, we're talking about July 9th. It's going to be very hot. In July, we're probably going to have a better situation in the country with the vaccination and the COVID and everything. So we will gather in the church and we will have praise and worship. We will have a moment of reflections, confessions, obviously with all the safety. We will have the exposition of the Blessed Sacrament and the love letters. What is the love letters? We're asking to write love letters to the kids. Sometimes it's so hard and we don't tell them how much we love them. This is the opportunity for us to express ourselves and tell them how much it means them to us. And that's what we're asking, to write letters from everybody, from the family members, friends, you name it, right? Just like Acts, that they do the love letters, something very similar to that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will explain in another meeting, really close to the end, what I'm more in detail about all this and what you need to write and how they need to be turned on and all that stuff. But I'm giving you enough time because sometimes we're rushing and sometimes the letters is difficult, right? Uh, if you already know what I'm talking about, please start helping us out. You collected letters, and usually we ask the families to bring us the letter here to the office. Different from another years is we're asking that the parents keep the letters, and when it's time, you're gonna bring them to me. And the day of reconciliation, that Wednesday, usually we want to have on Saturday the rehearsal, Wednesday the mini retreat, and the following Saturday the confirmation. So that's the date that we're looking for this moment. So we have plenty of time, but I think it's a really good moment because at the beginning of the year it's like, oh, falta mucho, ¿verdad? De aquí a the confirmations. Is this semester it's gone, right? We're in the second semester. The kids they need to do the hours. We decided usually the requirement is 40 hours for the confirmation too. We only asking to complete those 20 hours for this year, right? Because we noted that last year it was really messy even for us. This year they already know, and even the families know, and when they register they already know, they knew what to expect, and the expectation for the families to complete 20 service hours every year, do the love letters, have a saint, and a sponsor, right? Remember that the sponsor, you need to be 16 years old or older than 16 years. We don't recommend the boyfriend, girlfriend. We highly recommend a family member. It needs to be full committed to the Catholic Church, which means it must be confirmed. There's a tradition in the Hispanic families that if it's a female, the sponsor need to be a female. If it's a boy, it needs to be a man. No es cierto. And there's also sayings like, oh no, es que no se regresan el compadrazgo. If you are my comadre, you cannot be comadre of my other son porque se regresa. No, that's not true, right? So thinking someone that is really gonna be in the family, because sometimes you pick someone, they celebrate or they participate in the mass and they never see them again. And super important, they need to be, if they are married, they need to be married in the Catholic Church. Sometimes it's really difficult because they are Catholics, but they are living with someone else. They got divorced. They are living with another person, and that they are not eligible to be sponsors. We have a group of people in the family in our program in the family of St. Raphael's that they help us out and they sponsor some of the kids because for some of the families they don't have anyone that they are in good standards of the Catholic Church. If that's the case, please let us know and we can assign some of our families. And they know the drill and they are really good and they take this very seriously. And when they say yes, they're really committed and they keep track of the kids. I'm the worst sponsor ever. I have a few kids that I sponsor and I'm terrible, right? Because it's a serious commitment. But if it's needed, someone from our program will sponsor your kid, so that won't be an impediment for them to get confirmed. What it will be an impediment is the retreat, the service hours, and the bishop letter. All right, we have plenty of time. We have a bunch of online projects that they can do, so they don't get behind on this. And we thank you so much because it's been a difficult year. I'm gonna be honest, it's been difficult for me, for my catechists. They have to learn so much, and so a small period of time. Having classes in the computer is not the same, but it's the safe way, right? So we're ready. I think we probably will start doing a very small service hours probably here in the parish if everything is getting better. But at the moment, we will continue with the classes. The classes will remain online. We might have some in moments in the parish, maybe in the church grounds, in the outside, maybe just like the luminarias. Maybe we can explore. It depends how the kids they are behaving, if they follow the guidelines. If we notice that they are not following the guidelines, we will go back to 100% online. And obviously, that will be only for the ones that they sign up hybrid, right? Some of the school districts they are going back to school, so that will give us a, a certain liberty to maybe explore the idea to go back to do some projects in the church by class, so we don't have a lot of kids in the grounds, and that will require a lot of supervision and stuff. Like I said, when we plan something, we extreme the precautions. That's not a problem. The problem is when we dismiss and the kids are gathering in the parking lot. So if we plan something, please make sure that you are earlier. So as soon as they finish, you pick them up y vámonos. All right. I gonna stop the recording so we can I will try to answer some of your questions.